it's your host, Get Good Fox. Welcome back to State of Decay 2 Lethal Zone Beta, where today we're going to answer the question, how good is Westen Builder Supply? Let's take a look at the base situation. Well, is Westen Builder Supply? Well, it's pretty good. It's got 4 people to get in, 1,000 influence, and you get 2 large facilities, you get 6 small facilities. They're evenly distributed between indoor and outdoor, meaning you can basically fit any blend of buildings that you're going to want. And then on top of that, you get a upgraded storehouse that gives you 55 storage to all of the things, which is very impressive. In addition to that, I'm going to try to knock out all of the plague arts protecting the next area so that we can prepare to just move right on in. But in order to do that, we are going to need a few more bloater gas grenades. So, Westen Builder Supply is proportionately one of the most powerful bases around. And the reason for that is quite simple. It's just crazy value to get from such a small price. Once again, it only takes 4 people to move in. It only costs 1,000 influence to get in. And what you get is essentially the power of the container fort. The container fort does have a few extra benefits, such as the built-in beds. You get the 8 built-in beds, and you get the castle doctrine, which basically acts as a free watchtower. But honestly, those benefits are really small and irrelevant in comparison to just, what you have available to construct with. And the fact that this base costs half as many people to move into, 4 instead of 8, and this base requires basically 1/3 the amount of money, 1,000 people, 1,000 influence to move in rather than 3,500. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's crazy how much power you get out of this. So, as far as mid-game bases go, it's really tough to beat Westen Builder Supply. It's really the only reason why Rusty Rosie's isn't as good as it could be. If Rusty Rosie's did not have to compete against Westen Builder Supply, it would be a lot closer. I'll just put it that way. But Westen Builder Supply is absolutely nutty. So what do you get? You get your 2 large facilities. Once again, 2 large is kind of like the minimum. It's just enough. Would you take more large facilities? Sure, you would take more. But 2, it's just good. It's good enough. You can get the 2 most important large facilities in the game, the trade depot and the lounge. Or you have the option to go, trade depot and a... Well, I don't care about that. Just let me sell things to you. We're trying to clean up our inventory, make a little bit of money in the process as well. But yeah, you get the 2 large facilities. You get your trade depot. That's going to help you construct the base as well as just make life easier. And then you can also get the lounge. That's going to take care of basically all of your morale problems. Auto train your characters up, and if you want, you can do some alternative strategies, like you can do a trade depot and a forge. The forge and the trade depot combined would allow you to get materials at the fastest speed in addition to like looting things. Or you could just, there's some weirder ones you could do. You could do, if you're mainly worried about combat, you could do stuff like a lounge to train up and a field hospital. The field hospital does allow you to do the 90% primary care if you have both surgery and pathology, because if you activate primary care twice. Also, let me get this going. We are going to use the drone hacking. I don't know how useful the drone hacking is good. Do we really have a programmer? Who's our programmer? Oh no, we have electronics. Electronics is good enough. The drone hacking allows us to get some of the benefits of a survey car temporarily, so it's still pretty useful. I should have activated that earlier so it would be ready. Basically, what we want to do is locate all the plague guards so that when we're on our time limit to destroy them, we can waste as little time as possible. But without it, we won't have it in time. It's not a big deal though. But yeah, the 2 large facilities, it is more than good enough for most bases. Yes, you'll take more, but 2 is kind of the bare minimum of what you want in a good base. But then you get 6 small facilities. 6 small facilities is actually really fantastic. And once we scout, I'll show you what I chose. In fact, I can show you right now what we picked. What the big thing we did is we have 2 stills. So we've got an infirmary, we've got a workshop, we've got a shooting range, a fighting gym, and then we've got 2 stills. The stills are going to allow us to double our production of influence-providing items. And I've actually, in addition to making them right now, I'll get to show you just how good they are. I mean, as a sneak peek, we tried it last episode, and basically, if you have the fully optimized setup where you are getting the knowledge of alcoholic beverages, then you can expect to get about 300 influence for every batch you create. And it costs 3 food to make it. So you're basically getting 100 influence per food. That's pretty good, because 3 food, 300 influence, so, 100 influence per food. That is really good. It's not instant gratification like strong painkillers, but nevertheless, it is absolutely fantastic. So we just need to locate 1 more plague guard, then we can free this up. And if you wanted to optimize it a little further, you could do a lounge, which we already have. But you want the lounge because it increases your action speed. Action speed is how quickly you do stuff like brewing the beer, for example. And what you could do is a Red Talon Officer's Quarters. The Red Talon Officer's Quarters is going to have the benefit of... Let's check this building right here to see if that's where the last plague guard is. The Officer's Quarters is going to give you even more morale. So between a lounge and an Officer's Quarters, you're definitely going to hit the final level of morale. Higher morale means more... Oh, okay, so we located all 4 of them here, which is good. Higher morale means faster, you can brew your alcohol faster, and that means you're going to be on the clock. You're going to be trying to get as much food as possible to keep up with it, but that's awesome. That's honestly not even I wouldn't even call that like a problem. Let's go ahead and activate our scent block and continue training. But even if you don't do that, like I said, it's not necessary. I mean, it is an optimization you can do. But you're going to be able to earn a ton of money either way. Like I said, it's just an absolutely fantastic base. You absolutely could just live. Even though there are larger bases, nothing stops you from honestly just living in Westen. Westen is a perfectly good final base. No joke at all. Okay, let's knock you out by doing this. 2, 3. Oh, I didn't quite finish it off. It's not that big of a deal. We can let the gas pass and go otherwise. But so what are the big facilities I'd recommend using? I would recommend kind of the setup I've got right now. I think there's variations without a doubt, but I think this is really good. Like the double stills. So what would you do instead of stills? There are other options. One of the options you could do is if you want to grow food, you could definitely do hydroponics. You could do a garden. You could also do other things too, like if you're into like cooking, you could definitely do the kitchen. You could do a latrine. I don't think that they are. I don't think they're as good, and in some cases, I think they're a lot less good. But they are options. One thing you could do. There are 3 small outdoor facilities, so if you want, you could actually go into full production mode, right? And you could actually just go 3 stills, and this would be a temporary strategy, right? And with the 3 stills, you could... Oh, I didn't think that bite would actually hit me. Or I didn't think he would detect me. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. That's more like it. But yeah, what you could do is you could just build 3 stills, because you do have to build them. They are an indoor exclusive thing, or an outdoor exclusive thing. And then you could get like an officer's quarters, because an officer's quarters, on the other hand, is actually an indoor exclusive thing. And then you could just like do the action speed feature from the officer's quarters and just like super produce alcohol. Or you could super produce ethanol. Remember that, like, you know, an alternative to the, what do you call it, the beer brewing is to just make ethanol, then use... Oh, what am I doing here? I'm going the totally wrong direction. Darn it, I'm just wasting time now. Oh, I see. That quest marker confused me. That's what it was. And that would be an alternative. Like, you could do strong painkillers. Strong painkillers are worth an absolute truck ton. I don't know what is better, to be totally honest. Like, right now, you know, people are talking about beer. I don't actually know which of them is better. They are both really good because you get about 200 influence per batch of strong painkillers, but strong painkillers are, I believe, cheaper. So it might actually it might actually equal out to being better. But I don't know for sure. Either way, though, the point is that it's just absolutely... It's just such a good base. And, like, normally I would say for an endgame base, you would want 3 large facilities, and that's still true. But the thing is, it's so accessible, and one of the bases only has 2 large as well. Like, one of the endgame bases, that would be the fire department. It only has 2 large, and yeah, honestly, if I had to pick between this and the fire department, I would choose this. The fire department does have the advantage of a facility that provides both of your utilities, so the fire department would be really nice if you were in need of utilities. But if you're doing amenities, no, you're not going to need that. And honestly, it's just true that some people prefer that over... I'm a little worried about the throw here. There we go. All of them are down. So we destroyed all of those plague arts, meaning we're going to be able to move in. No, you don't. Burn them and then we can leave. I'm not going to claim this base yet, actually. I don't want to do that just yet. Not a good idea. No need for it yet. But we'll take a look at what I built in just a moment, and we can see like how effective it is. Like what basically, if you want to make some alternative choices, what could you go for? Honestly, though, I do feel like the facilities I've chosen are pretty darn optimal. It's going to be tough to beat that. But like I said, there's always wiggle room. There's always going to be like something that you add, something that you drop. But we've got all the essentials in, as well as like the super meta, like just really hard-hitting facilities that are good in every single base. But I guess my main point is I can't say enough good about Westen Builder Supply, simply because I don't even know what Undead Labs was thinking. They made a base that has the power of the container fort, but they only charge 4 survivors and 1,000 influence. It's like, it's crazy. There's really, I mean, I'm trying to think of some of the other mid-game level bases, and like, I don't know, it's so tough to beat Westen Builder Supply. The only thing you wish it had, you know, you're basically like, if I could give up 1 small facility for another large facility, then you'd have 3 large, 5 small, and then you'd actually be at the level of Whitney Field, just minus the announcer box. And honestly, 3 large, 5 small is what I would consider the most optimal blend of facilities. You know, like the farmland compound has 4 large, 4 small, and the lumber mill has 5 large, 3 small. Kind of the weirdo of the group. But honestly, 3 large, 5 small is really, really good. And that's kind of the only weakness. But, like, I mean, it's a mid-game base. It's got to have some kind of a weakness. But like I said, you are getting a lot of bang for your buck. Now, in order to fully access the base, you are going to have to remove the... You will have to remove the failed CLEO drop. There are two ways to do it. You can either have a computer programmer or you can have 7 labor. You remember that when you claim the base, you're already going to have 4 labor by default. So you're only going to need either 3 more labor or have a programmer. You do get a lot of stuff out of the CLEO relay. You know, you get guns, mods, ammo, supplies, and you also get bulk resources. You get like 5 medicine, 5 materials, 5 food. It's really fantastic. It's definitely worth it to open it up. If you're going to play on Providence Ridge, a simple solution is just to start the game with a computer character. Like when you create your first 3 guys, either A, roll for a computer guy, or B, import a character that has computers, import your Red Talon hacker, or alternatively, what you can do is just bring a book. That would be the easiest way to ensure it. But let's talk... Oh, looks like we got some infestations. We scout for those. So what do we got here? We've got a lounge and we've got a trade depot. You're going to see that in basically every one of my builds. These are the best 2 large facilities in the game. And the thing is, there's not a whole lot better than them as well. There are large facilities that are temporarily useful, like the auto mechanic. It's useful, but like not as a facility you would leave up all the time. But the trade depot and the lounge, they're good all the time. Now, for the small facilities, obviously you're going to have an infirmary. You know, you want to heal. Obviously, you're going to have a workshop. You want to repair, salvage, scrap, and repair your vehicles. You know, obviously you're going to have those. Now, we've got the fighting gym. I did not level up the fighting gym to level 2. Not necessary. The fighting gym on its own is really good. 20 health is a really big deal on Lethal Zone and Nightmare Zone. Maybe even on Dread Zone. And depending, if you're getting beat up a lot, a gym is really good. It's just 20 health. There is a mod that gives you an extra 10 health or an extra 5 health and an extra 5 stamina. It's really, really good, though. I do recommend a gym. I think it's one of the... And you don't have to do anything. Like, notice right now, it doesn't have any material cost. You can just leave it that way. You can do that. You could just leave it like this because it does not have any material cost until you upgrade it. Now, if we look at the shooting range, you'll see right here, daily maintenance. That is because it's level 2. At level 1, the shooting range does not have a daily maintenance, so it's not even... You don't have to pay anything to get the benefits, and you don't even need to upgrade it. And what it will give you is the 20 stamina. Once again, it's just free buffs. Free health buff, free stamina buff. You don't have to pay anything. It's just constantly active, and as long as you don't upgrade it, there isn't even an upkeep cost. Now, over here, we got the 2 stills. The still is one of the things you can make a duplicate of. Let me go ahead and get some alcohol, though, so you can see it. Now, I have knowledge of alcoholic drinks, and it is being provided by the tapsters over here. You see them? The tapsters are providing me with knowledge of alcoholic drinks. You can also see it here in our effects. Where is it? Knowledge of... There it is. Knowledge of alcoholic beverages provided by the tapsters. Who are the tapsters? They are the beer-themed enclave. I'm sure you remember them. Like, they're very common. Let me go ahead, though, and bring some of this stuff out, and we can sell it all.
That's pretty heavy.
We're not, in fact, they're not even going to be able to afford it all. We'll have to do it in another episode. Let me bring out one batch. So when we craft the beer, you can see right here, it costs 3 food, and we're going to get 4 6-packs of fresh crafted beer and 1 growler of barley wine. Barley wine, you only get it from if you have knowledge of alcoholic beverages. Another way you can get knowledge is getting bartending. Get a character who has bartending, and that's another way to do it. In fact, one of the ways you can get bartending pretty reliably is from the beer guys. Get the beer guys, and you can absorb them into your enclave, and they will have it. Or you can just leave them as an enclave. But let's go ahead and do it, and I'll show you the value. Because, basically, we get 1 growler of barley wine, and then we get 4 6-packs of fresh craft beer. So here we go. That is it right here. Let me also bring a cure with me. And, you know, for a little bit of irony, let's go ahead and sell it to the beer guys. And then we'll probably also want to mop up those infestations. Oh, get out of my way, mouse. And the reason we're able to brew so much of it is because, one, because Westen Builder Supply has so many small facilities, including outdoor facilities. But another reason we're able to brew so much is because, remember, it costs 3 food each, so we're actually burning like 6 food each time we activate that. It's because of the super waifu cafeteria squad that is reducing the amount of food that we eat on a daily basis by 75%, basically for free. So instead of eating our food, we're barely eating any food at all, and we're just turning all of that extra food into money, and that's fantastic because food is a very common resource. So we can just turn all of that into money. So here we got right here, the growler of barley wine worth 102. Let's just call it 100. We're going to sell it. And then over here, a stack of the 6-pack, it stacks up to 3. But you can see right here, a single pack is 51. Let's just call it 50. So we just sold 100. Here's 150, 200, 250, 300. So that is 3 units of food being turned into 300 influence, and that is pretty good. Is it better than the, what do you call it, the strong painkillers? I don't know. Strong painkillers are also extremely good. I would have to sit down and, like, think of a way to compare them mathematically, because they are different. You need 3 food to make the beer, whereas if you're doing it correctly, remember, they both have optimizations. You would not get the growler of barley wine without knowledge of alcoholic beverages. You would not be able to get the full deal on strong painkillers unless you have the pill press mod, which cuts the cost of making strong painkillers in half. With a pill press, because that's what you want to compare it to, strong painkillers with a pill press to beer with knowledge of alcoholic beverages. It costs 1 medicine and 2 ethanol. Now, the good news is that we know that food and what do you call it? Food and medicine have similar sized rucksacks. They both are 4. So, one thing of one rucksack of food is 4. One rucksack of medicine is also 4. So that is an equal comparison. However, the big difference is that you got to factor in the ethanol. Now, the thing about the ethanol, now you might say, well, if one uses medicine and one uses food, why not just do them both? And the answer is maybe you do them both. But the thing about the ethanol is that ethanol is another limited resource, and one of the ways you make ethanol is with food. You turn food into ethanol through the still, which is why you would need the still both for both of them, basically. So which one is better? I don't know. I would have to spend a little bit of time doing a bit of the research. We have to do some considerations into it. Okay, that burns these guys. Either way, though, in the meantime, I would say, like, they are both good. And they have some different benefits. Like, one of the benefits of the painkillers is that they are instant gratification. What do I mean by that? Well, with the painkillers, the time to craft them is instant. Like, making painkillers is just like going to this and pushing this button. Right now, you can see we don't have that installed, so we're not getting the discount. Let's go ahead and put that in. But you could just machine gun them out, because as long as you have the materials necessary, you can easily craft them. Oh, to the Shadow Realm, saving some time, baby. And that's a big benefit of strong painkillers. So let's say you need money, like, right now. Oh, so the drone recon is finally done. Let me go and just do drone recon. Doesn't cost a lot, just 35 influence. That'll let us see what's going on around us.
Hey guys, we can use some assistance over here.
What a surprise. People need assistance. So I don't really know the answer to it. I don't know if one is, like, distinctively better than another. I would say, they're still both very good. Like, strong painkillers has not gotten worse. So regardless of which one you choose, it's not going to... I don't think it's going to matter. Because, like, going back to the concept of instant gratification, yes, the Painkillers has the advantage that if you need money, like, right now, like, you know, if a trader shows up and, damn, I need money right now and I don't have any beer ready, you could just make Painkillers right then and there, make a ton of them, sell them. Whereas with beer, you have to wait for them to be brewed. Now, maybe you've been brewing them for a long time and you've got a reserve of beer that you've brewed. But if, let's say, that's not the case, well, then, you know, you don't have the instant gratification. You got to wait for the beer to be brewed. And you might say, well, isn't that the same with ethanol? Well, yeah, okay. If you run out of ethanol, you will have to wait for the ethanol to be produced. But the thing is, you can loot ethanol as well. And if you loot some ethanol, the moment you get some, you can just immediately make the. You can just immediately just pound out some strong painkillers right then and there, and it's not. It's like I said, it's instant gratification. So there could be an argument to use them both. In fact, even if you are doing craft brew beer, there's probably an argument for them both. Because what are you going to do if you have too much medicine? Like if you wind up having an overflow of medicine, what else are you going to do with it? Making more strong painkillers is a pretty good idea if you have an overflow. So it could be a thing where you just use them both regardless. I mean, I'm planning to do that. Maybe until I do a little more research to really find out, you know, if one is distinctively better than the other. I'm not sure though. We'll just have to see. Let's get this last infestation out of here.
Clear for now.
Crazy episode, though, isn't it? Like, we're making some humongous progress. Taking out infestations, reviewing a base, talking about, you know, beer versus strong painkillers, destroyed 4 plague arts. That's the last of the infestations. You can tell because threat level is 0. That is a beta feature, remember? Like, it's not available in the primary game yet. But, oh, I forgot all about those bloaters. Let's go around them. We've been really abusing the car here, so we probably need to spend a moment to patch up the car. In conclusion, though, to wrap up my thoughts on Westen, Westen's fantastic. Unbelievably good base. You know, I love it. I think it's... whenever I move to Providence Ridge, honestly, it tends to be my preferred base. The only time I wouldn't use Westen is maybe if I had like a.
That's humanity talking.
Okay, that's fine.
Up on a ridge with good sight lines, rather than down in the shit.
Yeah, whatever you say, Sasquatch. But honestly, if I'm going to Providence Ridge and I'm not planning to stay, maybe I'm staying there for like 20 days or so. You know, just kind of doing like a normal playthrough. Well, honestly. I would probably just go to Westen Builder Supply. I think it's the... I mean, the thing is, the larger bases are rather unbalanced. The fire station does have a lot to offer if you don't have amenities, like if you need water and power. And then the lumber mill, I mean, I'll have to like sit down and tinker with it for a while. The lumber mill is one I am very curious about it, what we can do at the lumber mill. But I mean, the lumber mill is going to require kind of a unusual build that maybe you don't see this build too often. But otherwise, you can't go wrong with Westen Builder Supply. Westen, it delivers everything you want except a third large facility. And if it did, then it would be insane. It would be too good. It would be like, how could you make a base for only 4 people and cost 1,000 influence and give it 3 large facilities and 6 small? That would just be like, that would be nutty. It would be way, way too powerful. But otherwise, Westen Builder Supply it's just insanely awesome. If you have never tried it before, if you haven't really done much on Providence Ridge, I highly recommend giving it a shot. Once again, you can easily deal with the CLEO relay either by, if you get, one way to do it is if you get an enclave, a story enclave, fail the story, like the surviving soldiers, the tapsters, the gearheads, you know, the mechanic enclave, just fail their quest on purpose. And what that will let you do is recruit 3 people at once. You will typically have a story enclave by time you get into a medium-sized base, so it shouldn't be a problem. Another solution is, use your red talent hacker, bring a character in, start the game with a computer character, start the game importing a book, a computer textbook. You could also use the legacy option. The legacy option can be a little expensive at 1200 influence. All you got to do is load up that character with like a bunch of strong painkillers, load up that character with some like beer, and just bring them in, take the beer off of them, take the strong painkillers, just sell them, and you'll immediately recover all the costs necessary. Anyways, that is what I think about Westen Builder Supply. Absolutely fantastic base. Highly recommend it. Next episode, though, we should have some daylight, and we're going to be moving into Prescott Fire Station, the last of the large bases. Doing great, though. We're up to 7,500 influence, so really, really good. Let me know down in the comment section, though, are you a fan of Westen Builder Supply? I imagine there are probably a lot of Westen enjoyers. It is a fantastic base. I'm a big fan of it. It's probably my favorite base on Providence Ridge. I will have to take a look at the other two. I'll be honest, I haven't messed with the larger bases much. Anyways, if you enjoyed this review, if it was helpful, consider giving me a tip, a super thanks tip. It's the heart icon next to the like-dislike bar. Just tip the waiter. Buy the Fox a coffee. Not necessary, of course, like your viewership and your comments. Like, that is the bread and butter of the channel. Anyways, if you liked it, though, like the video. Likes, they really do help. Comments, they really do help. Like, they help other people find the video because it tells YouTube that this is a good video and it should be shared. So please take a moment to like the video and leave a comment. If you don't know what to say, just say, hey, Fox, or just say, I like Westen Build. Just say something simple. It doesn't have to be insightful. You do not have to add an insightful comment. Just saying anything is helpful. But anyways, subscribe to my channel for more State of Decay 2. Stay tuned for the continuation of the Hyper Community World Tour, because we're going to Prescott Fire Station next. But of course, at the end of the day, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.